Hello my friends, Caitlin here, and today we're going to talk about having a crush on someone you can't be with. No, Finn, no. You don't need to be on there. I just want to film, but somebody wants to be in the way. Heh? Heh? Mwah. So guys, if you follow me on social media, then you know today I wanted to do something a little more casual and just kind of like talk off the cuff about something. I put out a little poll to see what you guys wanted me to talk about, and it was very, very close between body image or having a crush on someone you can't be with. And I think the crush one won by like maybe one vote. Today, because I don't have a lot of plans for the video, we'll talk about the crush one, and then I think next week when I have a little bit more planning time, we'll talk about body image. Ooh, we have this very fun, artistic afternoon shade lighting going on here. So this question about dealing with having a crush on someone you can't be with comes kind of from my own personal experience, and it was actually like a video idea I wrote down about a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago, because it was sort of something I was experiencing, and I was like, I want to talk about this because this is complicated, but then I ended up not, just because it's so complicated it's difficult to talk about. First, I guess we should figure out exactly what I mean by having a crush on someone that you can't be with, because it can kind of mean a lot of things. It could be like you have a crush on someone that is already in a relationship, or you're in a relationship, or there might just be circumstances that don't allow the two of you to be together. The examples that I was really like from my own life, and kind of why I wanted to talk about this, is instances in which I've had a crush on someone and we don't live in the same place. Like we live, you know, states away or countries away or something like that. So there's like extra hurdles before you could actually even like ask each other on a date. So being in a relationship or even dating isn't a feasible thing. Hello? I'm trying to escape the sun, but then I get a cat instead. This is like ASMR Caitlin vlogs. So I've really kind of been in all of these situations, and none of them are ideal, obviously. I feel like really that the conclusion that all of this would come to, or really maybe has to come to, is that these aren't feasible relationships for whatever reason, because I do not support home wrecking or breaking up with people or cheating or anything like that. Mostly because, and if you've watched my videos for any length of time, then you've probably seen this one, where I was in a relationship with a guy like my freshman year in college who was like really dumb, a really dumb 18-year-old. It was an emotionally abusive relationship. I didn't want to be in a relationship with this dude anymore, but I just didn't really know. We got a cat butt. Hello, thanks for that. I didn't know how to get out of the relationship. I just kind of like stayed in and was miserable, but because he was like still in high school and I was away at college, I met like another guy while I was there, and instead of just like breaking up with him, instead I ended up like kissing this other guy. You shouldn't kiss other people if you're in a relationship. I learned that the hard way. The point though is that if you have a crush on someone else and you don't want to be in a relationship with the person that you're in a relationship with, then you just need to break up with them.
You're so cute. What are you doing? What are you doing? You just gotta be in the middle of all this. Ow!
However, I do want to point out that I don't think you should feel bad. Like, we are attracted to people because of the way they make us feel. And it might be because they look a certain way, or there's like an aura about them that reminds us of something that made us feel good, like when we were a child or a teenager. The one thing I like to remember though is that when we have crushes, we are attracted to the idea of a person, and not necessarily the person themselves. It doesn't mean that if, say, we were to pursue that crush, that that person might not turn out to be the way we imagined, but just generally people are far more complicated and nuanced than what we kind of come up with from a cursory experience with them, or just like from looking at people. My kind of more recent example of this is that I developed a crush on a friend of mine who we don't see each other much in person because we live far away from each other, but we would talk in my kind of like post-breakup time where everything was awful. He reminded me a lot of a past relationship that was very good in many ways and I had fond memories of, but then also had all these other kind of qualities I found to be attractive. So then I developed this crush on him, and it was something that I kind of questioned where I'm like, do I say anything about this? Because we were both single, but we lived in very different places. We also had very different goals and outlooks on life in many ways, and I didn't think they would actually be compatible in a relationship. So essentially it just became this big mess of emotions and feelings that really only I was dealing with because he didn't know anything about it. The point here is that it took some time, but I tried to remind myself of the kind of realities that actually having a relationship with someone entails versus just having a crush on someone, because a crush is full of all of these wonderful and fun emotions, but it's just not always feasible, and that's okay. Well, I think I'm gonna end this video because the sun keeps disappearing and my light keeps changing. Well, hopefully we've talked about something that made at least a little bit of sense and was kind of what you were thinking when you voted for this topic. If you have more questions or kind of want a more nuanced version about crushes, or, you know, wanting to be with someone that you can't be with, that I didn't touch on here, then, you know, just leave a comment. Plus remember that you can check me out on these other social media sites. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the moment there's a new video. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye!